Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
I'm a 33-year-old woman, and I married the man, 32, that I had dated for 2 years a couple of months ago. We have an incredible understanding, and our relationship was the most blissful it had ever been. We had moved in together, and his mother lived with us, who was the most loving woman I had ever met. I had no reservations about staying with her because she would mind her own business and never interfered with our lives. We had occupied the upper floor of my husband's house while she lived in the lower. We would leave early in the morning together because we both have jobs. When we returned, we planned to cook together and divide the housework. My mother-in-law would occasionally cook our favorite dishes for us, which would brighten our day. Everything has been fine, but there's been a problem since the beginning. That problem was my sister-in-law. That woman never liked me and did not even try to talk to me nicely. She's been in a bad mood forever around me, and that has affected our relationship in one way or the other. She was married before I had moved in with my boyfriend, but would visit almost daily just to see what was going on in our house and how she could control that. She's a narcissistic woman who wants to have the charge and wishes to direct every person. She would come over and comment on how messy our portion was and that I lacked manners and hygiene. I told her that she could say that because she was a jobless person and could have the whole day to clean her house multiple times. This pissed her off, and she created a huge drama. She told everyone that I had called her jobless and broke just because I was earning. I told my husband that she was lying, and even if she was not, I did not say anything which was not true. She would try her best to create a fuss out of nothing. We were arranging Christmas dinner, and only close family members were invited. The family, comprised of my mom and brother and my mother-in-law, was kind enough to invite them for dinner. When my sister-in-law heard that my family was coming, she announced that we had to invite her friends too. My husband told her that it was my family, and we had decided to invite family only, to which she replied that my family was strangers, and if they were coming, why not her friends? A huge argument broke, and this was not the first time. Another time, my sister-in-law tried to humiliate me and told me that my husband would kick me out of his house once he was bored, and then I would beg her to help me. She said all those things just because I was cleaning and asked her if she could gather her things and put them in her room. She told me that she would visit just to see her mom, and if it was not for her, she would have never bothered to see my face. I told my husband about that and told him that I was not going to stay in this house anymore. That was when my husband proposed to me and told me that we were getting married soon. This news enraged my sister-in-law, and she told my husband that if he married me, she would never step into his house again. But my husband didn't listen to her. We got married within a couple of months. My sister-in-law kept creating problems, though, and was not ready to give up, as she could not bear my sight. My husband's house actually belonged to his late dad, and my sister-in-law wanted us to sell it and give her the share. My mother-in-law and my husband were not ready to sell the house, as it was close to their hearts, but my sister-in-law was not ready to step back. Just to see me worried, she was putting her own family into trouble. She would visit us almost every day to ask what we had planned. My husband told her that he would give her the share from his savings, but would never sell the house. She got furious and told us that we had to sell the house or she would involve the police. My husband asked my mother-in-law to hand over the papers of the house, as he wanted to go through them, and that was when my husband announced that his dad had already transferred the house to his mom. We took a sigh of relief, but I requested them to hide that news from my sister-in-law. The next day, I took my mother-in-law and went to the police station. We filed a report against my sister-in-law for trespassing my mother-in-law's property and decided to file for a restraining order. A notification was sent to my sister-in-law, and I could imagine her expression. My sister-in-law came to us the next day and told us that we were lying about the ownership of the house. I said that she was stupid to assume that, because if it was so, how could we file the report against her? She yelled that even if the house belonged to her mom, she had a fair share in it and was still going to fight for her right. My mother-in-law told her that she had already filed for a restraining order, and if my sister-in-law did not decide to behave herself, my mother-in-law was going to get her arrested. My sister-in-law sat for a moment and then hugged my mother-in-law, crying like a kid. She told her that she was just angry and wanted to kick me out of the house that belonged to her parents. She also said that she never wanted to bother her family, but I had pushed her to do so. My mother-in-law told her that everything could get better if she would let go of the grudge that she keeps for me. My sister-in-law begged her mom to withdraw the report against her, and I was slowly understanding why she had created such a drama. My mother-in-law had withdrawn the report, and my sister-in-law behaved herself for a couple of weeks and dared not to create any drama. It was Sunday, and I was watching TV in the lounge when my sister-in-law came and asked me how I was doing. I told her I was good, and was also surprised by the way that she talked to me for the first time, as she was very polite and sweet. She told me that she had given up on the bitterness and considered me a family now. She asked if she could borrow my laptop, as she had something important to do. I asked her what she needed my laptop for, as she was not even a working person. She told me that I never skip a chance to call her jobless. I didn't want any drama, so I told her that she could take my laptop. She told me that she would return in the evening, but she never came with a laptop. I called her multiple times, but she's not responding. It's Tuesday today, and I'm scared she has tricked me. The only thing I'm worried about is the important documents from my office on that laptop. My sister-in-law came the next day, and my laptop was not with her. I asked her, and she told me that it was just a laptop and why I was behaving like it was the last laptop on earth. I told her that I had a lot of work to do and needed that laptop ASAP. She told me that she could not return the laptop as she had sold it because a friend of hers needed some money. I thought she was just getting on my nerves and told her that I was serious, and if she could get the laptop from her place. She told me that she had literally sold it, and why was I so worried that I could buy a new one because I was a working woman. I told my husband, and when he asked his sister, my sister-in-law told him the same story. I couldn't believe her. I'm still so worried I can't even put it into words. I will be able to recover important documents from my office, but there was so much more on that laptop. I asked her if I could know the shop where she had sold my laptop, to which she replied that she had forgotten. I could not let my sister-in-law go without revenge, and I knew I had to teach her a lesson but could not think of an idea. My sister-in-law was at our place and told her mom that she was going to take a shower in her bathroom. I was reading a magazine when my mother-in-law asked me if I could fetch her glasses from the dressing room. When I went to get them, I saw my sister-in-law's wedding ring there and decided to keep it. My sister-in-law had created a fuss about it, but I kept quiet, even when I was the one she was blaming. I sold the ring and bought a laptop, and when I brought that laptop home, I announced that I was the one who had stolen her ring to get myself a new laptop. My husband told me that I was the worst, as it was her wedding ring, and my mother-in-law is not even talking to me, but I'm glad I put my sister-in-law in her place. My sister-in-law came the next day and told me that I had to pay her the money I got from selling her ring. I went to my bedroom and brought her the remaining money and told her that the rest had been spent on the laptop. She told me that she was going to take the laptop with her, and I was supposed to tell her about the shop where I had sold her ring. I told her that I had forgotten the shop and wished she had a great day. My husband got better when I explained that I had had enough, and it was high time that his sister needed a lesson. I apologized to my mother-in-law and told her that I had only done that because my sister-in-law provoked me to do so. My mother-in-law's behavior got better, and the best thing is that my sister-in-law is not interacting with me at all. NTA, OP did what needed to be done as the sister-in-law needed to be stopped. OP had been understanding since the start and had tried to neutralize the situation, but that sister-in-law was toxic. The way OP's husband supported her and married her when sister-in-law would say that OP's husband was going to kick OP out is commendable. Let us hope that sister-in-law keeps calm now, as she has already done a lot of damage. NTA, oh my God, that sister-in-law got on my nerves, and I can imagine how OP had managed her. She was just unruly and did not even care for her family when she was asked for her share in the property. Selling OP's laptop because sister-in-law's friend needed money was absurd, and we all know she had done that to piss OP off. OP's idea of selling sister-in-law's ring was amazing, but a bit harsh, as a wedding ring means a lot to a person.
Next story.
I'm a 24-year-old woman, And my husband, 26, his friend, 25, let's call him A, has been having some problems with his wife, B, 22. Be honest, they don't seem like they're going to last, but they're both trying to resolve the issues. They don't want to jump straight to divorce. For context, I'm 10 weeks pregnant with twins. A's wife is 24 weeks pregnant with a single baby. A's wife has had a very easy pregnancy, while I have been extremely sick. I've been hospitalized twice, and I'm on the strongest medication that I can be on. I'm surviving, but barely. A and B have 2 children already, a 6-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl, who will be coming with A if he comes to stay. They also have 4 dogs. My husband and I have not had any support from A and B at all while I've been in the hospital. Barely even a text most days, yet B expects me to text every day, and if I don't, she'll grow increasingly aggravated with me, saying that I don't care about her or her children. B works an extremely flexible job, around 2 to 3 days a week. I am, at the moment, working 7 days a week to get my business up and running before maternity leave. Bad timing? Yes, but my husband and I are making it work for the sake of the twins. Enough context. On to the issue at hand. I texted B this morning, and she said that as we are supposed to be their friends, we should have A to stay for the weekend to allow them some room to breathe and take some space. I felt like I couldn't say no, as B was saying I had always hated A, and that if I was being truthful in not hating A, I would open up to my home to him and help them save their marriage. The thing is, I'm exhausted. I wanted a couple of evenings with my husband to relax and to just sleep, to be honest. But I know that him coming to stay means a weekend of them going out and partying, leaving me to do all of the housework, take sole charge of the children, and be responsible for the dogs, etc. I'm tired. I don't want to do this, but B persisted that if I loved their children and wanted them to grow up with 2 parents who were together, I would let A come and stay. B would not relent, saying that I would be responsible for their breakup and that A would think I hate him and God knows what will happen if he's alone this weekend, and that if I said no, that she would tell all of our mutual friends that I wanted them to break up. My husband has said it would look bad if I turned around and said no now, that it would make it seem like I do hate him and that we really should have him stay. So now I'm facing a weekend of work, sole childcare, becoming a doggy daycare, and taking care of 2 hungover grown men, all while trying to keep my head above water with regard to the sickness and exhaustion that comes from the first trimester, let alone with twins. I know that so many people have it way worse, that some women are single mothers and have to cope with all of this alone, but I'm just exhausted. So, AITA, for not wanting to have my husband's friend to stay with us for the weekend? Wow, I'm a bit blown away by how many people have agreed with me here. I went to see my husband on his lunch break and showed him this post. His reaction was unexpected. He sobbed. He admitted that he knew it was an move to say yes to them coming, but he'd been so scared by everything that had happened in the last few weeks that he wanted to feel normal. So, we're going to go and stay with his parents for the weekend, be looked after by them, to be spoiled a little, like we both need. My husband's then booking me into a spa with a friend for a couple of days, but definitely not B. We're still torn about what to do regarding A and B and our friendship with them, but we're going to be turning our phones off this weekend to get some thinking room. NTA, book yourself a weekend away and sleep, relax, and look after yourself and your babies. You are not A and B's caretakers or mother. Their problems are their own, and they are manipulating you to get what they want. They are not your friends. I personally would be okay letting them think I hate them, because then they might leave me alone and stop feeling entitled to my time, home, and attention. You need to put your foot down, otherwise you'll continue to be abused by both A and B and your husband. It's bad enough now, but it will be 10 times worse when you have baby twins to care for. What the crap did I just read? NTA 1,000 times. B is not your friend. She is a manipulative user who will continue to walk all over you as long as you allow her to. Also, a wonderful husband would not leave you alone to take care of children and dogs, to go party with a friend when you are sick. Nor would he allow you to be manipulated into saying yes to this ridiculous request.
Next story.
My sister has a lot of health issues and is on disability, and recently my brother-in-law had a heart attack, making neither of them in a state to take care of my niece, a 10-year-old girl. They asked us to take her for 3 months while they recovered, and we agreed. However, the problem is our house is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We have 2 children, 15-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy, and they each have a room, and my husband and I have the master bedroom. Our bathroom is attached to our master suite, and my children share a bathroom. We have a basement too that has a 1-bedroom and a small entertainment area. My husband uses it as his man cave mostly, and no one really goes down there. My husband wants our daughter to share her room, but she doesn't want to, and I think a 15-year-old and a 10-year-old won't get along. So then, he wanted to put up curtains in the living room for her, but then no one can hang around in the living room and it will be hard to have guests. Not to mention, it isn't as comfortable as having an actual room. I want to put her in our spare room in the basement, but my husband doesn't want anyone in his space. Then, he argued my niece should go to my brother, who definitely has more room, but they live out of state. I told him it would just be for 3 months, but he is against letting her stay there because it's his space. We argued about this for days before my niece arrived, and against my husband's wishes, and showed her to the basement room in his man cave. Of course, the bedroom still has a door so he can play video games and pool down there, but he can't do it after 9 p.m. now, since my niece will hear him and she needs to sleep. He is furious and won't talk to me or my niece and picks up extra work to avoid us, saying, well, I have nowhere to be in my own house. NTA, your husband has some real problems here. First, it's only for 3 months. And second, do you have a private woman cave? I don't think so. Having a man cave is a privilege, not something he's owed or must have. He can give it up for 3 months. He's acting like a spoiled child. I'm thinking of Dudley throwing a fit over losing his second bedroom to Harry in the second Harry Potter book.